Hello and welcome. It's huge. What we are experiencing is huge, and yet it's beautiful. It's challenging, and yet it will lead us through, if you like, the biblical, to the promised land. This is definitely about our anchoring heaven on earth. And so I want to talk to you about this sort of big umbrella thing around truth and authenticity, but also I want to speak to you about some of the other imagery that I've been given. So I want to tell you that yesterday I experienced a huge time jump. That's all I can say. Of about I was like I lost 5 hours of time, and that's happened a couple of times. So perhaps that's happening for you. This experience of not being aware of where a block of time is gone. And then also we have been doing a lot of clearing up. First wavers have been doing huge amounts of clearing. So this truth aspect in our world is showing up on all levels and all platforms, I want to say. So it is showing up from, hi Sally, from the cellular level. So you could see that we are operating, we are clearing and cleansing from the cellular level. And I was shown this beautiful imagery by Gaia today of like being in the ocean and a little tiny jellyfish just doing that. And then it looked to me like it was dancing, but it was, it's like it turned itself inside out, and it was very transparent and in the ocean. So that's this it's like that was the representation of clearing out from the cellular. So especially the divine feminine, I want to say, has been clearing out the ancestral lines. And so a lot of you have done a lot of work around that, but maybe we're dipping back in to clear something else that's come up, because we're definitely in that thing of going deeper and going older. And it's like divine feminine, I want to say, are really doing the work here on behalf of humanity. It's as though the further we've gone into the light, the more that we are able to witness the darkness. And so we've had a lot of dark elements come up, of dark agendas that have been shown very clearly. There's this very strong AI component that's come in to take us down another trajectory, if you like. So it's impacting us in many ways and from all directions. So so in my initial tune-in for this, apart from all the notes that I've got, these are the images that I saw. So if you like, God showed me these huge showers of light that are coming down from the heavens, and they were called light and enlightenment codes. So we're receiving those. Those are creating a lot of pressure on the body. There's this huge impact of pressure that's creating expansion, which many of you will be feeling, and it's like squeezing out what needs to be released. So it's deeper purification as well. I want to say that many of the divine feminine, you will have been spending your time at night in the fourth dimension and in the fifth dimension, because it is as though, this is how I'm seeing it anyway. So the divine feminine have been, along with the divine masculine, and I know I've already mentioned this, but it's still going on, that fighting like sword fighting against the dark, the evil, the, you could call them the sorcerers, the Illuminati. The deep state, that would be another way to describe it. But the divine feminine have been, and also these are like in the planet, on the planet, and off planet beings. So there's a real fight for the resurrection of our planet, for the saving of our planet. It's that last desperate, on the rooftop sword fighting kind of thing. So if you've been feeling exhausted, that may be part of it. You've been doing that. So there's been a lot of that going on in that sort of fourth dimensional space. It's like cutting loose the strandings that hold people down, and like reintroducing higher dimensional fifth and higher strandings for people to be starting to be connected to. So there was that. Oh yeah, I've written that. So clearing and anchoring heaven on earth. And then the other thing that's been happening is this unfolding. So I don't know if you know what a Japanese furoshiki is, but a furoshiki is a Japanese square of cloth that is used for traditional wrapping, or to put things in and tie them up. So you double tie the knot, and then you have a handle. So it's a way of transporting food, for example. And so I saw these beautiful furoshiki, and if you can imagine the most exquisite squares of silk tied up in beautiful origami. That's what I was showing, and I was showing that they are being unfolded. So this is another aspect of what we're experiencing, is the unfolding. So there's this whole thing that threads through everything that's happening, which is truth and authenticity. So on the smallest cellular aspect, we're coming back to the organic, and there's choices here. So somebody sent me, let me see, somebody sent me, oh, I guess I got this as well, on the bigger level, but no, I've lost it. So on the side of truth, somebody sent me this. I'll read this to you. In a bold and unprecedented move, Italy is reportedly preparing to follow Trump's lead and withdraw from the World Health Organization, WHO, a move that could send shockwaves through the globalist elite. Deputy Prime Minister Matteo Salvini is calling out the corruption, the mismanagement, and alarming overreach of the WHO, an organisation that has been accused of serving the interests of billionaires and unelected bureaucrats rather than public health. If Italy moves forward, it won't be alone. Nations across the world are watching closely, and this could be the first domino to fall. The globalists are scrambling. What happens when country after country refuses to bow to their dictates? I believe that is going to be this. There's going to be that rippling effect. We're going to have a lot of rippling effects. We're going to have first wavers who are stepping into this, claiming ourselves, our right to have our own autonomy, and claiming ourselves as these higher conscious beings full of unconditional love, and working with acceptance. And so that those energies, first wavers, are going to be rippling across the planet. And then we're unfolding. So these energetics that are coming in, they are really helping each of us align to our own truth and to the truth that is around us, and for others. And so this idea that if truth sits here, anything that isn't that isn't authentic, that isn't true, is going to disappear. So that's going to be the lies that we've told ourselves, the hidden that is within us, the hidden lies within our government, the like our government in New Zealand has something on the table about pushing through for some um, compulsory an ability to have a compulsory vaccination whereby people can be forced to receive it. That's on the table. And so that's the sort of extreme push of that view. It kind of doesn't surprise me because Gaia always spoke about how New Zealand would be last to be first. So we will be the country that probably gets squeezed more so that we then create this surge of energy that then ripples back across the planet. So it's that very sad notion that doesn't apply necessarily to us, but it does apply to us as a nation, that Gaia said to me ages ago, which really surprised me, that New Zealand was the most somnambulistic country on the planet. And, so here we are this first light, the nation of first light. The Chatham sees the light. I guess Antarctica might see it first, but the Chatham's people see it first, and then it washes across the dawn, the light, te ao. But we apparently are that. We are very asleep as a nation. So that will take more compression before that gets pushed back. I wanted to read this. A couple of things from my notes that apply. So this came through on Thursday, and I thought it was really beautiful. And I just want to remind you that by the light of your grace, you will glide through this myriad of portal doorways. So we're in ascension, remember, individual, collective, and one light-filled molecule at a time. That was the other interesting thing that came through. That alignment is everything now. So it's this alignment, and we are doing this alignment through the authentic, through the original, through the divine authentic aspect of everything. So there are strange things that are happening with the animal kingdom, and I have witnessed a few of them, but something that I just noticed yesterday is that in my toilet there's a window, so it's wooden joinery, and the toilet roll just sits on the windowsill in there, and the ants have been in the toilet paper. And so I noticed that yesterday, and there were hundreds of them, and they're tiny ants, so they will be the sugar ants. And I'm like, I wonder what they're doing with obviously they must be collecting tiny fibers. I couldn't see that they had, but that must be why they're there, collecting tiny fibers of the toilet paper to build their nest or something. So I moved the roll and left some paper on the windowsill for them. And then later on, I noticed that they'd disappeared. And so I put the roll back up there, and they came again. So that seems like strange behavior to me. That's not something that I've noticed, and I've been a very avid ant follower. I've watched the ants for a long, long time. So I'm interested if any of you know about that. So the dizziness and nausea, that is likely to be a fairly common response to the pressure. So the energies that are coming in, they are intense, they are huge, they are super quick, and they are creating that kind of compression in the body, that pressure in the body. And some of that pressure, I believe, is designed to bring the things up that need to be cleared. And let's see, time lapses. deep ancestral trauma of the power injuries, of the power injuries. Okay, do you mean, Rael, do you mean the trauma created from the powers that were in the ancestral lines? Yep, that makes sense. I really feel like first wavers, especially the feminine, are we're working really hard at the moment. We're working with this graciousness and this love and this expanded light, and we're also working, from the warrior side. And there are definitely men who are doing this as well. But this is like I'm referencing, like the feminine aspect. Also, the men are really starting to shift, and I'll talk about that as well. Sarah's saying releasing sacred rage into the ocean yesterday. So grateful for how she holds us. Oh, I'm getting goosies. Yeah, honestly, the ocean's just so magical. And in Gaia, I often get moved to like goosebumps and tears when I am in her presence, and when I dropped into her today, she was like in this super deep space, this very, very deep meditative space, holding space for Earth to go through this process. So we've got this from the macro, all the way. We've got it from the tiniest molecule all the way through to governments, and that's my read of Trump, and is that he's not a saint, he's not a savior, but he has come to push the lines. He has come to shift things up, and it's an orchestrated plan, and that's why it's happening like that, because it's that we were at a point where if we didn't move, we might have gone under, we might have gone backwards. So I don't believe for a minute that he is anything other than supported by on and off planet beings, human and non-human, and that he has an agenda, and that this really is like a rescue, and we have to take part in that by being in our alignment and by looking for truth. So it's this. I probably have been a bit confusing, but it's that we come into alignment, and how we do that is through our authenticity. So I'll read you that poem that came through. Be open to the new version of you. Continually align to what is true, what is authentic, but only for you. What's true for you might not be the same as what's true for me. And this is where advanced light workers are now. We can be in this acceptance that everyone might have a different perspective, and that's okay, because we are here. We're here to have unity and harmony, but it doesn't have to be the same. As we each cut our path and lay down our own track, pour our own bath in which to soak and have our own back, we will align to true north, what is absolute truth, each moment reflecting to ourself in the mirror, diving deep into heart, what is love, what is not, and our soul, let it voice resound out. It's your choice. Our new earth forms around us because we're creating our own new earth. Creator codes humming, heart and soul-based voice as each makes their choice. Vibration and resonant heart echoes out. We make in each moment what the next moment is about. What feels good, what feels right and is true. Now, for a new terraform now for both me and you. Creation codes land, the collective voice sounds. We reshape and allow for the highest abounds. Heart upgrades continue as heart-brain bridge develops. Alignment continues. So, yeah, also that many of you will begin to step into your mastery roles now. So just be aware of that, be alerted to it, start to be considering, well, what is it? What's my heart's desire? And then what are the gifts that support that? I think that's a really good way to come at it. Yeah, allow yourself to become the leaders and the teachers. These roles are important because you may have been sitting in the space of an understanding of what New Earth would be like. You may have had visions and dreams, but for some people it's brand new. This idea that we're being squeezed into something new is an anathema to them. And so feel free to share your stories in such a way that they can just be heard, and it doesn't matter whether they take them on board or not, but there's more openness now. I'll come back into here. So, yes, go Italy. I know, it's very, very interesting. Yeah. There's so many, and I'll try not to get distracted because there's so much really. Ants have only burnt out her PowerPoint, Charlotte's saying. Never heard of a toilet paper ant collection. No, me neither. Sweet CC saying weird times for sure. The word and action of grounding coming in today. Grounding, the feminine, the lightning, the masculine. Yeah, that makes sense. We're the magnetic, they are the electrical. Hello, Preeti. Yeah, they are wild energies, and so I think that I don't know, maybe we're supposed to tame them. I don't think so. I think maybe we're meant to work with them. There's a lot of energies that we can use for transmutation. Jen's saying she hears he may be ceasing the wars going on in the world. I hope so. Yes, certainly that was definitely a message I got a number of years ago. So Carol Moulin and I think I did say this story, but we tuned in on him when he first sort of started being on the scene, and we got the same information about him, that he was supported by both off planet and on planet, that he had a plan. We saw all these folders laid out, that he was protected, and that he would, it would be through peace, or it would come to peace. And then if you may have seen some of the film footage of him visiting most of the leaders around the world, and giving them red folders. And from the truther community, some of the people who were picking those things apart talked about that being him saying, here, we know what you've done, and you need to play this, toe the party line, basically, or we will reveal to your people what you've done, because there's been a lot of abuse, a lot of trafficking, a lot of things to do with the sexual abuse of children, and all in that dark underground stuff that has gone on. And there's been, you can imagine it's pretty easy set up if someone gets lured in, given some money, given some drugs, put in a situation where it's filmed, and then that's used for bribery. And I suspect that that's been a fairly standard modus operandi. CCC saying she's seen Trump in her dreams for 7 years or so in different ways. Once he dropped children off to me. Once I woke him up from a deep sleep in space. Many more experiences. I agree with you, she says. Yeah, good. Yeah, he there's a few versions of him as well, aren't there? As there are for many of the leaders at the moment. Over the last few years, that's been shown to me that many of them have two other, two cloned versions. Jackie's saying her cat sat with a baby bird that had fallen out of the nest until she got my attention. I was able to put it back in the nest. The bird survived beautifully, and my cat keeps an eye out. How divine. That's something that Gaia showed me a long time ago. And I was shown this vision of me as a goddess sitting next to, or as the Lady of the Lake or something like that, sitting next to a lion and a mouse. And when I asked what that was, that's what I was shown. Also, I had a vision a long time ago where I was sitting next to Jesus on a grassy hill, and there was silence. And when I said, what is that? What is that silence? He said, that's peace in the Middle East. So I always knew that time will come. I believe that time's very close. But this idea that the animals will be, well, they won't. We're going to move to a time where the animals won't eat one another, and we're going to move to a time where we don't have sickness, we don't have disease, we won't need hospitals. We will have centres, we will have health hubs where people might go and maybe do some kind of diagnostic thing to see which modalities might work for them, or maybe have a choice of, well, you could do this or this. And that's what I've been clearly shown in a vision. But yeah, first wave is definitely having these higher conscious experiences, dreams and visions coming in. And so if I want to say to you, just say out loud, I saw that. That's right, I saw that. And so that your body can hear your voice saying it out loud. I saw myself. I saw myself in this huge building that was round and spherical, and there was this beautiful music playing and lots of lovely green plants, and people were able to just come in off the street and lie there and speak those things out loud so that your body can hear them. Your body is intelligent on so many levels. Let's see. Sally's saying we saw these healing centres on a retreat in Kaikoura. We called them Om centres. Beautiful. So let's see what else is here. Yes, just remember that about, start to step into who you really are and why you're really here, and start to claim it, start to own it, state it in such a way that you don't have to be attached to it. That if someone says, oh no, that doesn't really interest me, you just go, oh, that's okay, and mean it. It doesn't matter. Everyone will have their own crafted route. Their soul would have made this plan, and there's purpose also. I got shown this a long time ago in terms of ascension. Like, we are in ascension, but there's purpose also in people holding on to the physical, holding on to the lower. There's, some people have chosen that to be their role. It's like holding the density down, and I imagine that allows other people to. It's like when you go on a tramp and some people lead the way and some people hold the space in the middle and some people are at the back making sure that everyone gets through the gate. It's that kind of thing. Yeah, we're going into this return to origin, and that's another big theme, and that's why I'm using those words, alignment and authenticity. So you know, becoming more aware of perhaps of where you've come from, and perhaps of why you are here, and perhaps of what you're going to do for the future of Earth. It's this time for this deeper self-inquiry about that, but it all links to truth and to sovereignty. And this is what is having this huge impact on the divine masculine. So the divine masculine in the last couple of days, you could say they show up. I'm saying they show up. Like they're unsettled. They are a bit unsure. And it's because they are having these experiences in the physical where their mind is really giving them some other options. Their heart is starting to open. They if the masculine who are in divine counterpart connections, they will be having probably very vivid dreams, maybe in the daytime and certainly in the nighttime. There'll be that all of those synchronous things that the divine feminine went through about seeing names and overhearing a voice that sounds like them, and seeing number plates with initials and signs everywhere. That's what they are experiencing and have been, but it's building, it's building as a bigger group. And they, because of this alignment to authenticity and truth, um, they are feeling that pull towards what their soul and their heart is guiding them to do. And so that includes a whole host of things. It may be about, finally going and buying a motorbike that they've always wanted. It may be about taking themselves on a trek into the woods that they've been wanting to do for a while. It may be about touching base with their feminine, but it's them really digging deep. And you will remember in your awakening, there was quite a lot for many of us, a lot of alone time, a lot of solo time, a lot of diving deep time. So, that's what they will do as well. But I am, I've always been told how they do it more quickly than we do. But, they are the collapses of the systems, and then them and us will be building the new systems. That's why the timing of it sort of feels to me that, it's imminent. What did I write in here? They, for many of the divine masculine, they were feeling as though they were living in a glass house and the walls were being smashed around them. Also, okay, this, consider the impact on your brain if your head were inside a metal drum and the outside was being struck with a spoon. So a lot of people are having that kind of impact on the releasing of things from the mind that don't serve, that aren't true. And then on this bigger level is all of the tenets on which we've based our beliefs, all of the principles that we've been taught about science and through the science and through school, and our history and where we come from, and how old our civilization is, and all of those aspects, they are beginning to sort of bubble up, if you like, to be seen. Yeah, and I want you to remember that when people are in the down and out, when people are hungry, when they are broke, when they are cold, they are very easy to manipulate. And so there's been a sort of a push for that, really. So be brave, be courageous. There's a lot going on within and without. individual and self, humanity and planet, sitting still in present moment, acknowledging peace in the heart, being with your inner self, focusing on your breath is an excellent contemplation to begin the day. The old and the redundant is kind of rumbling up and out as more is revealed and more is unsettled, and this unwraps and unfolds. Gives everybody an opportunity to observe. So you will remember that during COVID, we were having conversations about how to speak to others. And that guy always said, everyone will awaken in their own time and in their own way. And it's still the same, isn't it? But I have noticed dialogue in people that would indicate that the ship is turning. You know, I always get shown that analogy about the ship turns slowly in the harbour, because otherwise too much water would be washed up on the jetty. And that's the same with this. The ship turns slowly so that people can navigate their own path, so they can accept truths that are hard to believe, and then can accept more. So I think that there's going to be a lot that comes out about nanotechnology. There's going to be a lot that comes out about things that have been put in the food, and the sort of the, you know, that killing me softly thing. And that this will become more sort of mainstream. There's oh yeah, there's a in December, I found this. Someone in Kansas has filed a civil suit against Pfizer. And within that, they are linking into a number of other states. They said how many, I can't remember. Excuse me. What else? Oh yeah, I got yesterday. Oh yeah. Also, I get that a lot of the masculine are a bit scared, because it's they're kind of seeing maybe the scale of well, the love and who their divine feminine is. Let's see here. What have we got here before? Sally's saying these centres turned out to be the same place as prisons. I don't know. Everyone was infused with love, including the workers. Charlotte's saying even the night sky is much lighter. Noticed driving home after 9 p.m. last night. She's saying, did you notice, Sarah? I noticed that. I clocked, was 9:30 and it was still light outside. Oh yeah, that's right. Charlotte's saying he has his suitcase ready. Oh, I saw her DM the other day in a vision, and he was packing his suitcase. And oh, actually, as was my DM. And what did? Oh yeah, I got a little message from him saying that he was scared. What if I'm not enough? What came through yesterday? I'll see what else is here. Smart city locations as existing in the future, and what we see with Paradise, Maui, California. I don't know what NC is. Northern Carolina is then being destroyed and freeing us as a ripple back. Time is not linear. Yeah, that's the other thing, isn't it? Is that we haven't quite, well, I haven't, you might, but we definitely, it's like we're in both expanded time and contracted time, and we're in time loops and in time ripples. And so I haven't yet got my head around all all of that. But yeah, I think that, we can be masterful in rewriting things as well. And that these, we can have these, I see that we could have a total split into organic and AI. And it might be that we can manage the organic with some AI ultimately, but I think initially it's like it has to be kind of strongly split down the middle. I've definitely seen a whole range of cities in the future. I saw in the middle of, where was it? Slightly southwest of Christchurch. I saw a domed city in there. I was surprised. I saw that after the earthquake, and I was surprised that they went and rebuilt on the same land. But anyway, we know that that was created from CERN. We know that that was deliberate. That was an electromagnetic frequency that was ripped through there. I guess they were just having a little test run. Sweet CC is saying time is an energy frequency. So electronic prison cities no longer existing in a future timeline. Yeah. So it is that thing, isn't it, of timelines and future scenarios having a link up or a disconnect. Jackie's son-in-law had a dream. Now he's clearing up his body. He's very much in the glass house, shattering. Yeah, I spoke to this guy who rang me today, and I told him I told him I was doing a live. He could come on, but it was quite amusing to me because I was driving somewhere, and so he said to me, "Are you a medium? Are you a clairvoyant?" And I said yes, and he said, "Well, I don't believe in any of that." And I said, "That's okay, you don't need to." And he said, "I think that it's that people who do that are just scammers and a few other derogatory names." And I said, "Well, that's all right. So why did you ring me then?" Anyway, it struck me that he fits in that camp with the masculine. The masculine are starting to ask questions about things. And he had this lovely thing at the end when he said to me that he had a 3-year-old daughter who had said she could see a ghost. And I said to him, "Oh, okay. And so what did you do?" And he said, "I asked her some questions, and he told me what he had said." And I said, "Oh, that's really well done. Good work." So I think probably on some level that was why he rang me, because after this 30-minute conversation of debunking what I do, he told me about his daughter's story. So, that's another level to the gifting that's coming in, is that, we all know the children have come in to be the teachers, the seeders of the new. And I imagine that will be a challenge for many parents who don't have any understanding or experience of some of this, the invisible world. Way lighter to. Oh yes, okay. So you were talking about the light itself, Sarah. Way lighter. Noticed on the beach Friday night, it didn't feel properly dark until 10 p.m. Yeah, I don't. I grew up on the beach, and I just don't remember it being light for that long. But this is likely. Well, I can tell you. It's just another thing's dropping in now. That guy once told me that when we move into our new world, we won't have darkness, and we likely won't need sleep. We'll rest. So there you go. That's another interesting phenomena. Sweet Sweet CC saying she's in Maui and notice it's darker in the morning. Okay. Darker than she ever recalls it, but coming into spring. In terms of lighter nights, yeah. Hi, Amanda. Yeah, so this is what came. Oh, this song, by the way. But I don't know who sings it, but I could hear its temperatures rising. Da, 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 if anyone knows who that is. But that's to do with humanity, and then as a whole, it's like the temperature's rising. So things are getting hotter. Our insides are getting hotter. We're being heated up. The molecular spin is getting faster and more accelerated. That's helping our transmutation. Remember, we're moving from a carbon-based molecule to a crystalline silica. And so that is using a lot of energy. Pressure is building. That's the divine masculine. They are restless. They're feeling very unsettled in their human aspect, likely feeling frustration. Life is throwing them curveballs. And the divine feminines are asked to hold space, like hold massive space. Be patient, be compassionate, release the need to know what and when. Attend to your own path. Do your deep, deep inner work. Stay focused in present moment. Know that timing is in the hands of the divine. Trust this. Love your divine masculine unconditionally from there. Do your own sacred work as you come into wholeness. And apparently today marks the day where we step into 2,000 years of being in the sign of Aquarius. And so all of this links and matches to that, that whole thing about all of the qualities that come with that, which I need to look up. But I want to say that they are things like freedom, that they are things like unconditional love, that they are things like living in a way that is harmonious with nature and with one another, and finding our passion. So that's, this is the dawning of the age of Aquarius. This is it today. Today is, so it's pretty exciting. It's raining men. Yeah, who sang that? Oh, is that the song, Sugar? The Weather Girls sing that song. Okay, thank you. Oh, and then wake me up when it's all over. Yeah, so it's feeling like it's been a long, long hike over the mountain pass for us, and it still isn't over. I think that I was saying to somebody the other day that this whole thing about being a divine counterpart is just way bigger than we ever imagined, because we have come to change the world. We've come to change the world. And so that's about breaking down the old, and that begins with self, and then that comes into the familial, the family, and the genealogy of the mother line and the father line. So undoing and healing and transmuting all of those patterns so that we can come into greater purity and expansion and hold greater light, and then move into this creation, which that we're in. Oh, that's what I wanted to remind you of, because I heard someone speaking and I thought, oh yeah, that's so interesting, because I don't have one here to show you, but when I painted the Temple of Abundance, I painted all of these bubbles that were coming up from the pond, and I said, why am I painting these? And I was shown that they were the creation bubbles, the creation spheres. And so I want to encourage you to do that. Get a creation bubble, create a spherical bubble, and put in it what you want to create for yourself, for the world, for the people around you, and then send it off up into the ethers. Happy birthday, Jackie. Oh, bless. Jackie saying She's 63 today and has known this time would come since she was 6. Isn't that remarkable? Sweet Cece's looking for some men if anyone wants to send any to Hawaii. She's saying it's raining a lot here and she could do with some men. Yeah. Well, I have, that memory of Jesus and peace on the earth. That's a really strong memory for me. And it's just wonderful that you had those experiences when you were young like that. So I wish you big hugs, lots of love, drink heaps and heaps of water. This transmigration of our cells is a huge process. And yeah, do share your stories about the animals because, this is this time. So I don't know whether I finished that story, but Gaia said to me that we would get to a time, of peace, of course, but this peaceful existence and coexistence between all of the species. And so that's what this all kind of is where we're segueing to, I guess. Greenwood snake. Yes, have to look that up. That's I don't know which calendar that is. I can't think of it. Anyway, it's amazing times for us to be here and it's challenging times. So, reach out to one another. Imagine that we are settled and calm and centered and expanded and full of love. So much love to you. Chinese Lunar. Yeah, thank you. All right. Bye, everyone.